Hey, good day, and welcome back to Max Nafe Horsemanship. And, well, I can't really say it's baby steps, but it is kind of. Well, this is one of the babies. And she's not, as you can see, she's grown quite a bit. And I kind of like to bring you along every time we do something new. And today I think we're going to start doing something new. And it's something that will lead up to riding, but as you can see, she's nowhere near old enough to be ridden yet. She's not even 2 years old. But, this is one of those things that you can do it over a very long period of time prior to riding, and it's going to make life a lot better. And we're going to start today, and I'm going to show you what to do. I'm going to do it with this one and the other one. They're both about the same age, and I think they can both start learning the same stuff. It's not, we're not going to get on them anytime soon. They're only about a year and a half old now. But by spring, they're going to be 2, and some people think that's okay. I don't agree with that, but that's beside the point. There's a risk that our chance, or, well, use whatever you want, it may happen. Somebody might actually end up getting on one of these horses. If I have my say in the matter, no, but I don't know, things are sounding like there's a good chance that by spring, by the time that other one's 2 years old, somebody might be trying to get on it. It's kind of the way I'm hearing things. So I'm going to work up to that, and I'm going to start by showing you exactly what we do and how it's done, and we'll do it with this one. Well, not that it really matters. You could do it with either one, but I've been showing you stuff with this one, and personality-wise, she seems to be a little bit better for a lot of stuff. And, well, she's a little bigger, taller anyhow of the two. I think they probably both weigh about the same, but this one's definitely taller, no question, when you see them side by side. But I'm going to show you what we do leading up to being ridden, because one of the problems that people run into when they ride a horse for the first time, the very first time they throw a leg over, well, actually they can, excuse me, you're back up. You're in my way. Thank you. First time they throw a leg on, throwing a saddle pad and a saddle on can cause problems too, but we'll get that in the next video. But when that leg comes flying over for the first time, depending on the horse, it can be quite startling, and it can cause a meltdown. All of a sudden there's this weird thing on the other side of the horse that they've never seen before, and they don't know what the heck's going on, and it can really throw them for a loop. So we like to work up to that so that by the time that leg comes over, they've seen it before and it's no big deal. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to use over here, because I'm making this up as I go. Because my favorite tool for the job to do this is the fender of a trailer, whether it's a horse trailer, stock trailer. They work good. You can stand on the fender and hang on to the window. Can't do that here because the trailer got loaned out. Somebody else has a trailer now, so we're going to improvise. And what we're going to use is, you can use this chair, and we're going to use the round pen fence. Oh, what a good girl. See how she just set it up for me? Now, I'm thinking already, this chair is going to be a little bit too low. I think we're going to have to do this a little different. I'm not quite sure how. And this is one of those things. I've never done it this way before. I've seen other people do it this way, but their fence was a little different. And, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat, if you know what I mean. And you may have to improvise a little depending on what's available to you. And like I said, right now, my favorite tool is the horse trailer, but we don't have one here right now, so we're going to do this a little different. And I'm already thinking, as much as this chair is nice for standing on, I'd like something a little bit higher. I don't think this chair is going to work, but I think what we're going to do today is we are going to actually use the chair for the moment. If it proves to be quite problematic, we'll quit using it. Now, this is also one of those things that I say one thing comes before another. The horse has to be very good at siding up to you before you can even try this. And at this point, if you still haven't taught your horse how to side up to you at the mounting block, even if you don't use one, you're going to have to do it for this. You're going to have to teach it for that. And you can, because like I said, there's no huge hurry. They aren't going to be ridden until spring. Excuse me, I didn't ask you to back up. Yeah, right there. That's good. Good girl. Good girl. But you're going to want the horse to be able to do this. This is important. It's got to happen. It's not an option. Now you're going to want something that you can stand on. If you're young and athletic, maybe you can hang on a fence all day. I don't care. It's up to you. It's what you think works. I prefer to stand on the chair, so that's what I'm going to do. No, dear, I didn't ask you to back up. Stop backing up. There we go. One step further, I think. When you're doing this stuff, don't look at the horse, just look at the feet, because that's all you're worried about. And they don't take it personal that way, because you're not looking in the eyes. And, well, it depends on who you talk to. They're quite adamant about that. No, I did not ask you to back up. I asked you to stand there. Right there. Good girl. Now, here's what we're going to do. So she doesn't get freaked out when that leg comes over the first time. We're going to work up to that slowly, very, very slowly. And this can be done. I don't recommend doing it many times a day, because that can really be stressful to the horse. Once every couple days, maybe even once a week. All depends on your schedule and how long before you want to ride or before the horse can be ridden. In this case, we've got many months, so there's no big deal. So what we're going to do here is, while hanging onto the fence, I'm going to throw my leg over the horse. Now, I'm not going to go over all the way. I'm just going to put my foot over a little bit so that she gets used to something on the other side. Now, already, just rubbing her with my hand, I'm watching her ears, and the ears are a little concerned. She's not sure about this, something on the other side, because I'm over on this side. And so this is where, a lot of people run into trouble. The first time they ride is they throw a leg over and the horse isn't expecting it. Now, just in case she does have a little bit of a meltdown, I'm going to make sure she's got lots of lead. I'm going to hold her down near the end, so she's got lots of slack. If she moves, it's no big deal. And this is where having a fence or something to hang on to. Oh, I didn't ask you to back up, dear. That's not right. Come on, one more step ahead. Geez, why are you doing this today? Never done this before. Never had this problem. So, well, like I said, a lot of people run into that trouble, and that's one of the reasons that I suggest using a horse trailer, a stock trailer, or a good sturdy fence, something like that. In the case of this one, it's not a solid one. This is a portable unit, but the way they're all tied together, they're fairly solid. So first thing, what we're going to do is we're going to lift our leg up, and we're going to very, very slowly, oh man, she's tall, there we go. And you see how she's concerned? She's going, what the heck is that thing doing there? But this is as far as we're going. We're not going any further. And if she gets concerned, oh, that's rather awkward. I got to try this a different way for future. This chair is not going to work. It's not tall enough. I have to lift my leg up too high. For those of you that are younger and a little more flexible than me, that's probably work okay. But what I would do, and I'm not going to even try and do it right now, is I'd put my leg over and I'd just rub it back and forth on her a little bit. And that way it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's a good thing. It rubs her. Feels good. Just like my hand doing this right now. You don't mind that at all. See how this is working? And I think what I'm going to do is, just to give you a better demonstration, hopefully this works and fence don't fall over. I'm going to get up here. There we go. Like this. Now I'm hanging onto the fence. I'm actually standing on one of the fence rails. I'm not using the chair. You see I'm rubbing her with my foot? Well, considering this is the very first time we've ever done it, we're not going any further than that. But what you're going to do, and it's the same thing I'm going to do, but I'm going to do this many times. I'm not going to do it today, though. But each time I do this, my foot's going to go down a little further. Didn't ask you to back up, dear. Thank you. My foot's going to go down a little bit further. And eventually, and this is important too, eventually you're going to sit on the horse. Well, your bum's going to touch the horse, but you're not going to put your full weight on. But you're going to be doing the same thing you're doing here. In order to get her close enough into me to do this, I'll probably get rid of the chair for that part when I get to that stage. But I'm eventually going to have my leg down far enough. My backside's going to be on the horse, but I'm not going to put my weight on yet. I'm just going to touch her with it. Maybe the next time I might put maybe 10% of my body weight on. Then the next time maybe 20%, then 40, and 60 and, well, whatever. And we may actually do this, like I said, it may take 5-6 times before our leg is all the way down. And each time we do it, we're just going to rubber back and forth a little bit, which I just demonstrated to you. And eventually we get down to the point where we've got our backside touching her. And each time we do it, we're going to a little bit more weight. And that way, when the day comes that we actually do get on her, she's used to having weight on her back. Because by that point, I will have put my full body weight on. Now, it's going to be a while. That's going to be a while because we're probably only going to do this once a week. You silly girl, what are you doing? We're probably only going to do this once a week, so it's going to take a while. And well, as you can see, the days are getting shorter. Things are turning brown. Leaves are falling off the trees, and it's getting that time of year. And we're going to be putting more clothes on because around here it gets real cold. And oh, no! I didn't ask you to move, dear. Oh, let's see. Come on. A little more. A little more. Good girl, right there. That's a good girl. No, I didn't ask you to back up. Don't back up now, you silly little horse. So, once I get more layers on, it's going to be a whole lot harder to do this because I'm not going to be as flexible with more clothes on. I'm not that flexible to begin with, and you get a whole bunch of layers on. You can't lift your leg as high, and it gets a lot harder to do this. But we're going to keep doing it, and it just means that we're going to have to maybe do it a little bit different. But the same concept is going to apply, is you're going to do it like everything else, slow, baby steps, a little at a time, nice and slow, and you gradually get your foot down further and further and further, rubber on the side. And you can see even now, even just my hand, she's a little concerned, what's my hand doing over there? That's okay, that's a good girl. She's a little concerned about it. She's not real freaked out about it, but she's kind of curious about it. She's not moving, so that's a good thing. But she is turning her head around to check it out and see what's going on, which tells you that there is a certain level of concern. Well, maybe it's just curiosity. And I've seen all kinds of different reactions from horse. Your horse might not care. On the other hand, when you put your leg over for the first time, your horse might have a meltdown. And that's why you're doing this stuff, so that there's far less chance that you are going to get hurt. That's why you leave lots of lead out when you're doing this, so that if the horse does scoot out from under you, you're still standing there with your arm on the fence and all that good stuff. You're not going anywhere. And where do you think you're going? Get back up here. Come on. There, right there. Good girl. So if anything goes south and horse scoots out from under you, you're not going to get hurt. And if you do this enough times, by the time you do ride the horse, there's a much better chance you're not going to get hurt too, because the horse isn't going to have a meltdown when you get on. It's going to be used to your body weight. It's going to be used to legs over there. And one of the other benefits of doing things with your horse from an elevated position like this is it gets used to you in a very similar position to when you're riding. And so when you're riding, it doesn't get weirded out by the fact you're given it cues from a different place. That's one of the reasons you're working up to this stuff. Excuse me, dear, that's not right. Go that way. Forward. Oh, good girl. Right there. And you'll see I've had to correct her several times, which is kind of surprising actually, but it's like every time the horse does something that isn't right, you have to correct it immediately. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If I have to forgo what I'm doing here to correct her, that's what I'm going to do, because that's far more important. Now she's moving again, and she's probably going to, yeah, she's stepping away, going to step back. No, I didn't ask you to do that. Oh, she thinks she can just do whatever she wants right now. Look at that. How about that? Well, guess what? It doesn't work. Now you have to go over there and then come back in front of me again. This is what happens when you move. Go further ahead. That's better, right there. I'm happy with that. See? But this is a long, slow process, and like I said, you can do it once every couple days, once a week, whatever you got time for. It doesn't really matter. There's no rules, but take it slow. That's the important part. Oh, you're really being. Why are you being so difficult today? Thank you. Good girl. Just stay right there. That's the secret. Do nothing. So, like I said with everything, take your time, go slow. Uh, just sliding your leg over, you might have to do that a half dozen times. And then eventually your backside's going to touch the horse. And when it does, you're going to go, maybe 10% at a time more each time, putting weight on. If the horse starts getting really worried about it, don't go any further. If your horse has a hard time with 10%, don't go to 20%. Do 10% again, and keep doing 10% until the horse is comfortable with it. And that's this part of the journey, is just getting the horse ready, having a leg on this side and having weight on its back. You're doing two things right now. This also helps with the horse standing still while you're getting on. As you can see, today she moved several times. And although that's unusual for her, it's not a big deal, because you can't fix it if it ain't broke, as the old saying goes. So anyhow, I'll leave you with that little bit. I think I've shown you what we're up against and what we're dealing with. You don't have to do things exactly like me. You can use your own variations, depending on what you have available at your disposal. Like I said, stock trailer, horse trailer, that's my first choice. They are one of the better things to use. I find the fenders they provide a nice large wide platform to stand on, and they're about the right height. And you got the openings where the windows are to hang on to, or the bars or whatever, just depending on the type of trailer you got. But if you don't have that, you can do what I'm doing right now, and that is basically using a fence. What do you think you're doing? Man, she has never been this bad when it comes to standing still. Never. Get over there. You're going to have to do this all over again. Silly little horse. I'm actually kind of glad that she's doing this. You get to see it, and you get to realize that this is something you might have to deal with. Take another step forward, dear. Good. Right there. Thank you. So, like I said, I'm kind of glad she's doing this. I get to show you. But this is what you're going to have to do. Remember, leg over, get her used to that, get her used to that leg on the other side. Cue her to do things from up here. She gets used to cues in an elevated position. And there she goes again. Goodness sakes alive. I think I know what she's up to. She wants some treats because I've got some in my pocket. She smells them. And would like to get her nose back to where they are. That's part of the problem anyhow. And then eventually, like I say, just a little bit at a time, get them used to the weight on the back. And that might take you many weeks, maybe even months, depending on how much time you got to do it. And in the case of these ones, like I said, she's nowhere near ready to be ridden yet. So we got lots of time to work on this stuff. But in my next video, which will probably be in a few weeks or whatever, well, depends on what I feel like doing, we're going to have the saddle pad and saddle out here and show you how to put those on for the first time. And maybe we'll use this one too. I don't know. Maybe we'll use the other one. I know she's had a saddle on her, actually. I don't think she should at that point, but she doesn't seem to have a problem with that kind of stuff. So maybe we'll use the other one for that. I don't know. Just change things up a little. What do you think? Should leave a comment down below and let me know. Which horse should I use for that one? Because I'm going to show you that one. I'm going to show you what I believe is a correct way to put a saddle on a horse and a saddle pad. And it goes right along with what we're doing here. It's a much shorter process, maybe. Depends. Well, depends on the horse. It can be a lot shorter. It's not something that usually takes weeks or months to do. This is something that, although very few people actually do this, it can really save you a lot of aggravation in the end. The first ride doesn't turn into a rodeo. And if you got a horse that's really good with mounting and it doesn't get nervous when you get on it, you can completely ignore this part. And if you're already riding it, this is strictly for horses that have never been ridden. And need to get used to the concept that somebody's going to get on them someday, and there's going to be a big old leg flying down here, and there's going to be all kinds of strange things happening. And you'll notice one thing, I try not to freak the horse out too much, but I also try not to be too bashful about things. If you're always really quiet, and I've seen this happen before, people go, oh, shh, got to be quiet around my horse or you'll spook her, you'll get her upset. Good, I'm going to make some noise then. Because if you have to be quiet with your horse, and if you're always quiet with your horse, you're always going to have to be quiet with your horse, because that's what your horse is used to. And it's never, ever going to get better. So it's throw the rope. Wave your hands around. Be animated with what you're doing. Don't be too shy about things, because the horse has got to get used to this stuff, because otherwise, if you ever put a little kid on your horse someday, which you might want to do, a lot of people do, and little kids don't have a lot of self-control, and they might be screaming and yelling and hooping and hollering and flailing around, and you don't want that upsetting the horse. So the horse better be used to that stuff. So that's why how you do things can really make a difference too. So anyhow, I think I showed you all I'm going to for today, because today was the very first time we've done this with her, and we can't continue on until maybe next week. So it's not the kind of thing that you keep at over and over on the same day. Otherwise, she might get really annoyed. And I think I've maybe pushed them a little bit. Even recently, I noticed they've been just slightly reluctant to be in the round pen, and maybe a little more hurry than usual to leave. And so I'm thinking that maybe I'm pushing them a little bit too much already in the round pen, and that's something I try to be very careful with, is not to overdo it, overstressing the horse, because they got their limits. They can only handle so much, especially when they're young'uns. Okay, so anyhow, see you in the next video, and you have yourselves a great day. Bye now.